So, hello everyone, and welcome to Act 3 Rock the Boat of Chapter 6 without pressing the A button at any point. Now, I'm recording this voiceover after the fact, so in the top right you will see me during my stream, my mute self. I also have cut out a few of the failed attempts of the different stages in betweens. There weren't that many failed attempts in between, but if you want to see the entire video without anything cut out, then you can take a look at the description, and there you will find the entire uncut video, just so you can verify that I did indeed not press the A button once, even during my fail attempts, because there's checkpoints in here and sometimes I die, and I thought that I would cut out all the times I died and instead just give you the one where I actually managed to do it. Now, the start here is quite trivial, we're not actually doing that much, so not pressing the A button is not even that much of a challenge here, but we're gonna get to the meat of the stage right now, where we're gonna have to traverse the boat. Now, I have failed about 2 or 3 times during this, so there will be a cut right here, but don't worry, like I said, in the description you can find the full uncut video for verification purposes. The problem that we have here is that we cannot actually jump out of water. If we fall into water, we either have to find a spot where we can just tread onto land, or we just take a death and try over again from the checkpoint. Another problem that we have is there's a bunch of terrain in here where Hatkid will not be able to stand and start sliding. If we get into the sliding position, we have to reset, because you can't actually get out of the sliding fail animation where Hatkid sort of like flops onto her belly. You can't actually get out of that without pressing the A button. So if I ever get into that animation, I will have to reset, sadly, and a few runs died to that. So if we fail at something, at least if we fall into the water, we can just try over again from the checkpoint. We don't have to start the entire stage over. So we're gonna get this first guy. I could get a bunch of other guys at once, and during my practice attempts I have done it with a stack of 3 kids or seals on top of me and moving throughout the entire ship with a stack of 3, but it's so annoying to do and so inconsistent that I decided for this I'm just gonna get them all one by one. Now, something that's going to be very important, especially later on, you kind of saw a little bit of it right there, we have the no bonk badge equipped, meaning that if we dive into a wall, we will indeed not bonk. If it's just a regular wall, we will just do a wall run. But if it's a ramp, instead of bonking on a ramp, what will happen is we will slide off the ramp and basically get shot into the sky like you would expect from moving over a ramp very quickly with a dive. And that will be used in some places, like I said, especially later, to do some extremely great stuff. You're gonna be amazed by this, trust me. I couldn't even believe it myself, that was actually possible, but it is. Oh my god, I can't hype this up enough how amazing this actually is. But first we're gonna have to get 2 more seals here. These are not that nice to get, because moving throughout the innards of this ship is sadly not that simple with just the ice head for the most part. I will get some health here if I can actually grab it without being a total idiot. This is another room. Basically, all of these times we have a slanted surface like this, with the no bonk badge, we can basically use it like a ramp and slide our way around. We just have to make sure that we don't accidentally land on top of that surface without sliding, because in that case we might accidentally go into the slide fail trippy animation where, like I said, Hatkid goes, flops on her belly, and we have to reset because we can't get out of that without pressing the A button. Trust me, I tried everything. You actually can't do it. It's so weird. So usually I would continue down the other path and get the other seal and continue from there, but I failed that so many times. Like, it's possible, I've done it, like even with a 3 stack, but I failed that so many times that I just decided to not even bother anymore and just do it this way instead. Just get the one guy, go back in, get the other guy, and that's a lot nicer to do. Something to also note about the wobbling stack. The wobbling stack does actually make this quite a lot more difficult than it might seem at first. The problem with the wobbling stack that we have is that it doesn't just make us move a little bit differently, which in itself would already be a bit of a problem, because the movement that we're doing to run around this is quite precise. But because we actually have to worry about the wobbling stack, it does mean that some of the movement that we do is not quite as precise as we would want it to, and we might run into some troubles here and there. The other part though that we have to worry about with the wobbling stack mechanic is that for some reason, when I do a wall run, you can always cancel the wall run by pressing the dive button again, and I use that for more precise movement here and there. But for some reason you can't cancel a wall run if you're carrying an item. I don't know why, but you just can't do it. So if I'm doing a wall run and the wall run is not quite what I want, I have to commit to the entire wall run. Of course, I also can't press the A button to jump away from the wall. So if we get into a wall run, like I said, we have to commit the entire wall run. I don't quite like that, but we will have to deal with that, and there's not a whole lot we can do about this. First off though, oh, cute seals. Best thing about this DLC by far. So we're gonna have to move back through this room. Not that difficult once you've got an understanding of exactly what you want to do. Like, a lot of this comes down to you figuring out exactly what you want to do. And once you've figured out a plan, that's already half the work done. So for example, in this room, like I've seen earlier, in order to get back out of this, we will try and lodge ourselves up to here, which is not that simple. It's actually very easy for a head kid to start a wall run in any one of these directions and not to make it. Also, because of the wobbling stack, I mean, even if you have just one guy, it still counts as a wobbling stack. For one, I can't cancel a wall run, and two, I get slightly shifted left and right every now and then. Another cut right here. I only failed once, I think, right at the start here. Or maybe twice, I don't actually remember. So we're gonna have to get all the way to the top here. For some reason, you can stand on this, walk up here, all the way over here, and then get on top of this. It looks weird because half the time you're walking on air, but it totally works. Now we have a bit of a problem here. It's not actually that simple to get back to where I am right now once I jump down into the next area. In fact, I haven't actually found a good way to do that at all. So first off, I debated about skipping this seal for now and coming back later, but in a second I will remember that actually I can't get back here that easily and turn around. Because there's quite a difficult jump that we have to do here that looks really weird. Like, I don't even know how this works, it just does. And I was gonna try and do it without a stack, but I was like, nope, I guess we're gonna have to do it with a stack, even if it's just one guy. Hopefully it doesn't throw us off, and spoiler, it doesn't throw us off. Now, there's a bit of a... I don't even know how that part of the ship is called. The like antenna bit of thingy in the middle. You can see it down there in just a second when I look down. You can't stand on that. That blue blinky thing down there at the top, you can't stand on that thing. So instead, because I can't stand on it, I'm gonna dive into it, slide off, and it's gonna get us to this island right here, which, by the way, there is no other way of getting on top of that structure other than doing what I just did. So I basically slide myself off of a structure you can't stand on, that you weren't even supposed to get to, and sort of somehow wedge myself all the way over here. Very difficult jump here that just barely works. And sadly we have to do it twice. But now we have to get back on top of the ship. But how do we get back on top of the ship if we can't jump? Well, we have the no bonk badge. And as it turns out, this is rampy enough to just, I don't know, which just does stuff. This is basically enough of a ramp that we can just basically use it as if it were a walkway, and we just fly all over the place. And we're gonna do the same thing here. It's like, okay, we need to get up there. What do we do? Well, we have the no bonk badge, so we just do this. God bless the no bonk badge. And now we get the mafia boss, who has seen better days. Gonna get him back. Now the problem for the last guy is in a really weird spot. It's conductor. Now, in order to get to that spot, we're gonna do basically what we just did and make our way back over there. And we're gonna have to go into the Kitty Paradise playground thingy. And a problem that we're gonna face is getting out. We can't actually jump the way we just jumped, so we're gonna have to do something else. But first, some really weird movement right here just to get into this place. But you know what? If it works, it works. I'm not gonna complain. We need to be really careful here. Like I said, if we land in water, We can't jump out without pressing the A button. And if we die, we get sent back to the last checkpoint, which is before we collected any of these guys. So if I were to die now, like if I were to fall into water now, I would have to redo the entire thing. But don't worry, we got this. Otherwise you wouldn't be seeing this right now on screen. The movement is a little bit weird because, like I said, some of these objects count as a ramp, some of these count as a wall. It gets a bit weird. Now sadly we can't make it up to the boat from over here, so we will have to go around and do that really difficult jump again, which I did indeed fail a bunch of times during practice, and it was not very nice. Don't worry though, we're gonna get there. And then we're gonna get to the final part. Now the final part is the one where maybe to some degree you could have understood that, yeah, I can see that this is maybe possible. But that last part, how is that last part even possible? There's a place where you have to, first off, do wall jumps, and secondly, there's a place where you have to jump over multiple boats on the water that are really far apart. How are we gonna do that? How are we gonna do that? Well, I can't even believe it myself, but we're gonna get there. First off though, we don't have to go all the way back in. This is not too difficult, since we've already done it before many times. At least in my practice runs, I have done it many times. Now we're gonna have to make it all the way back to the laundry room, which is not too far once you've got a good understanding of how to move around. Now if we accidentally land on our face and do the fail animation that I talked about earlier like twice, we don't actually have to reset in this case, because there's a timer. We just have to wait for the timer to run out, and if you watch the uncut run, that's exactly what happened. We had to wait for the timer to run out because I entered the fail state. Now this is the difficult part. I will mention though, the timer that you're seeing, this is a cinematic timer. It actually slows down the further you get. Also, it's pretty cool that you can just jump on the water here where it's electrified, but we don't need to do that. You can possibly do it. You can do it. It's possible without landing in the water, but it's faster. I'm on a timer, so yeah, sure, I'm gonna do that. Now we won't have to go back through this casino room once again, so we're gonna have to do that really weird wall ride thingy. That is a lot harder if you have a guy on your hand, especially the walrus guy, because he's fat. I'm sorry, he's quite strongly built.
How are you so strong?
Not as strong as Hatkit though. By the way, if you're wondering what my skin is, it's for beating Death Wish. So here we're gonna have to jump over the boats, but screw boats, we have the no bonk badge. So we just go on a cruise towards the sky, and then we do the same thing we did earlier. We're gonna go over this building thingy that you're not even supposed to go on. Ramp over here and we just do this, and there we go, we just skip the entire thing. I can't even believe that worked, but it totally did. Now theoretically we have to do wall run up there. We have to do a wall run up there to get to where we need to go, but for some reason I found this seam where you just launch yourself into it with no bonk badge, and once again no bonk badge does the thing, and we just launch our way over and we're done. Isn't that amazing? I don't even know how this stuff worked the way it did, but it totally worked. And I'm thankful for that. So yeah, I've beaten the entire stage without pressing the A button once by using a combination of Ice Hat, diving, and the no bonk badge. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. You can also watch Act 2, by the way. I've also did Act 2 without pressing the A button. Go for that.